say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
Has to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
The scandal surrounding Diddy and Jay-Z has set the entertainment world ablaze with controversy, leaving fans, critics, and even their closest allies questioning the extent of their influence and the murky tactics they've allegedly employed to maintain their status. But here's the real kicker. As their reputations unravel, the spotlight is exposing a pattern of intimidation, manipulation, and alleged behind-the-scenes power plays that seem ripped straight from a Hollywood thriller. Let's dive into how Diddy, even while locked away in a high-security facility, and Jay-Z, still walking free, appear to be orchestrating efforts to control the narrative, silence witnesses, and possibly rewrite their own legacies.
Well, Combs is separated from the general population, right? He's with, or was with, Sam Bankman-Fried at least, and the irony there is that someone who was granted bail tried to tamper with witnesses, so the judge revoked his bail. So that just goes to show how these federal judges feel about witness tampering before trial.
Let's start with Diddy. You'd think being behind bars would limit his ability to exert influence, but apparently that's not the case. According to recent court filings, Diddy has allegedly been pulling strings from his jail cell like a puppet master. Prosecutors claim he's been in constant communication with individuals outside the detention center, leveraging unauthorized means of contact to reach potential witnesses and victims. The methods: reportedly, he's been using the phone accounts of other inmates to make calls, bypassing prison regulations, and using sneaky tactics like three-way calling to get around restrictions on who he's allowed to contact. And here's where it gets even messier. These calls are said to be laced with coded language, ensuring that even if authorities were monitoring him, they'd struggle to decipher his true intentions.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily so, I guess, right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
What's he allegedly saying during these calls? Prosecutors argue that Diddy has been instructing family members and associates to dig up dirt on witnesses, intimidate them, and even offer payouts to keep them from testifying. One particular note, reportedly seized from his jail cell during a routine sweep, allegedly detailed strategies for finding compromising information on individuals involved in the case. Think about that for a second. This man is sitting in a detention center, yet he still seems to have the reach and resources to influence people on the outside. It's almost as if he believes his power is immune to the four walls surrounding him. Then there's his use of subtle threats veiled in coded language. For instance, one intercepted phone call reportedly included Diddy referring to keeping the worms away from the house and reminding someone that he kept a sample just in case. Now, what exactly does that mean? Many have speculated this is code for holding onto incriminating evidence as leverage, a classic tactic to ensure loyalty and silence. And let's not forget his cryptic references to weathering a storm and needing vitamins to stay strong. If this sounds like the script of a spy film, that's because it practically reads like one. But it doesn't stop there. Diddy's legal team is clearly feeling the heat from his antics. During a recent bail hearing, his own lawyers expressed frustration that he's making their job nearly impossible. Despite their advice to stay quiet and maintain a low profile, Diddy has allegedly gone rogue, ignoring their guidance and continuing to push boundaries. For example, he recently posted a video on social media featuring his children, clearly trying to soften his public image and sway potential jurors. Prosecutors were quick to pounce on this, labeling it a blatant attempt to influence public perception and undermine the justice process. The video, while heartwarming on the surface, raised eyebrows because of its timing and intent. Was it a genuine fatherly moment or a calculated move to paint himself in a favorable light? Either way, it's clear that Diddy isn't playing by the rules, and his legal team appears to be scrambling to contain the fallout.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
And speaking of fallout, let's talk about the witnesses and victims allegedly caught in Diddy's web. The accusations against him paint a picture of a man willing to go to extreme lengths to silence those who might stand against him. Prosecutors have pointed to numerous instances where witnesses were reportedly contacted and pressured, either directly or indirectly, to stay quiet or provide favorable testimony. Some were allegedly offered financial incentives, while others faced veiled threats. One chilling detail from the court filings revealed that Diddy reportedly instructed his associates to make certain witnesses disappear from the equation altogether. It's no wonder the court has repeatedly denied his bail requests, citing him as a flight risk and a danger to the integrity of the trial.
At the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid, Diddy's jail cell, just yesterday. What were the contents of those raids?
Well, apparently, according to the defense, their legal documents, the government saying no, on the contrary, they're just some handwritten notes and a calendar.
Now, here's where it gets even more complicated. While Diddy is orchestrating his defense from behind bars, what about Jay-Z? His name has been dragged into the same legal quagmire, with accusations piling up against him as well. A civil lawsuit filed by an anonymous woman has accused Jay-Z of being complicit in some of the most heinous allegations yet. The lawsuit alleges that he and Diddy were involved in a shocking incident over 2 decades ago, and while Jay-Z has vehemently denied these claims, his response has done little to quell the growing storm around him. In fact, his statement urging the accuser to file criminal charges instead of a civil suit has only added fuel to the fire, with critics accusing him of deflecting responsibility and attempting to discredit the victim.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
And let's not overlook the timing of all this. Jay-Z's addition to the lawsuit came after months of speculation about his connection to Diddy's legal troubles. Some have suggested that the two moguls, once seen as friendly rivals, might now be entangled in a mutual defense strategy. Could Jay-Z be quietly supporting Diddy's efforts to control the narrative, or is he simply trying to distance himself from the scandal altogether? Either way, his involvement has cast a shadow over his otherwise pristine public image, raising questions about how deep these allegations might run.
A blistering statement. Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
What's particularly striking is how both men, despite their vastly different circumstances, one in jail and the other free, seem to be united by a common thread: their alleged use of power and influence to manipulate those around them. For Diddy, it's about maintaining control from within the walls of a detention center, using every trick in the book to bend the system to his will. For Jay-Z, it's about navigating the court of public opinion, where his every move is scrutinized under a magnifying glass. Together, they represent a case study in how far-reaching the influence of high-profile figures can be, even when faced with serious allegations. But the real question is, how has this affected the people at the center of it all? The witnesses and victims. The emotional and psychological toll on them cannot be overstated. Imagine the courage it takes to come forward with allegations against two of the most powerful figures in the entertainment industry, knowing full well the backlash and scrutiny you'll face. And yet, despite the alleged pressure tactics, some have chosen to speak out, determined to see justice served. Their bravery in the face of such overwhelming odds is a testament to the human spirit, even as it underscores the darker side of celebrity culture.
He, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement. He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her.
As this saga unfolds, one can't help but wonder, will the truth finally come to light? Or will the influence of these two moguls continue to cloud the pursuit of justice? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. This story is far from over. And as the court battles rage on, the world will be watching, waiting to see whether Diddy and Jay-Z can escape the consequences of their alleged actions, or if this marks the beginning of the end for their reign at the top of the entertainment world.
And of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally.
With Diddy's legal team scrambling to rein him in and Jay-Z's name being dragged further into the controversy, the stage is set for a showdown that could redefine the legacies of both men. But how did it come to this? To truly understand the depths of their current predicament, we need to take a step back and explore the rise of these two titans, how they built their empires, the choices they made along the way, and the dark secrets that may have been lurking beneath the surface all along. The rise of Diddy and Jay-Z is a story that began with ambition, talent, and shared hunger for success. Two young men from New York, each determined to escape their tough beginnings